Hi everyone, Phil here, and I want to share with you my letter L today for the ABC of achievement. And this word is lists. Lists. Now I've got to be honest, this is something I've become a convert to. I have a mild dyslexia, therefore the one thing I avoid in life is writing. Also, on top of that, the one thing that really doesn't work inside my head is listing. As with many people who have specific learning difficulties, as soon as you build a list of more than 2 items, something falls off the bottom. So I've always avoided lists. I've never kept a diary, not for the first 54, 55 years of my life. I didn't keep a diary. And now I'm a complete convert. I keep a diary and I write lists. And the person that probably kept me from danger through all those years was Caroline, because Caroline has been an avid list writer ever since we met, back when she was a young girl of 17. She loved lists, always wrote lists, everything. Gosh, if we were planning a holiday, I just agree where we were going. Next thing I was waiting for was the instructions to jump in the car some months later and set off. But during that months that passed, Caroline would write list after list after list. She'd have a list for everything. At least I'm pretty convinced she had a list of lists that she had to write. So why have I converted to lists? What is it that is so important about listing that actually contributes, as we are looking at now, to the idea of achievement? Have I seen an improvement in my achievement levels since writing lists? Yes, I definitely have. It has transformed the approach to the day, what I get done, and it also ensures that the things that need to get done are done. Because one of the things that we notice as life progresses, and here is a word to those who, like myself, are the other side of 50 and fast approaching 60, is that relying on this old thing isn't always the best solution. Because whereas once you could commit it to memory, now things you commit to memory sometimes aren't there when you go to look for them. So writing a list is definitely an improvement when it comes to knowing what needs to be done and getting it done. So I'm sharing this with you today as my L word, not because it just seemed like a good idea, but it is a good idea. It does work. And this is what lists do. They not only help you to remember, but they also set priorities. You see, if you've got a list, then simply by determining on that list, and some people can write it from the most important thing down. If you've got a brain like mine, I just put it all down and then go through and number them. And perhaps number 1 is second from the bottom and number 6 is at the top. But that's how my brain works. There's no right or wrong way to write your lists. What is right and wrong is it's right to write them and it's wrong not to. Simple as that. Having a list makes a difference. So by numbering or by ordering, if you've got one of those clever brains from the start and you know your priorities, you know what you're going to do and you write them down, you are able to set those priorities for that day or that week or that month, whatever it is you're dealing with. I tend to work on lists for each day. I'm not good with long-term planning. I'm not good with determining what I'm doing. My diary gives me a sense of order for the next week, fortnight, month, etc. But my lists are what I use first thing to go through the day. One good thing with a list is to write your list for today, yesterday. The night before, write the list. Why? Because if you write down the things you know you have to do the next day, it clears them from your mind and aids much better rest and sleep in order to wake refreshed to start the day. It also means from the moment you wake up, you know what you're doing. And of course, if you're like me, you find that you have to add to the list as the day goes on. Sometimes because there's things you forgot, but of course, other times because other things come along the way. So when something comes up in my day that I realize I will have to attend to today, I don't just run off and do it. I put it on the list and I give it a number. so that if it's terribly important, it goes top of the list, it gets done. Then I cross it off. Perhaps it is important, but there's 2 other things on that list that really should get done first. So it goes as number 3, as and from then. So there we go. It helps you to get your priorities right. It also increases productivity. Simply because if you allow your day to unfold and carry out tasks as and when you remember them, you're not going to achieve as much as if you've got a list of things that need to be done and you're crossing them off. Because just in the act of crossing them off, and I've shared this with you before, in the act of crossing them off, you enhance the sense of achievement. And you know that you've done something and it energizes you to do the next thing. It also means that the moment you cross something off the list, you're looking at the list. You're seeing what else needs to be done. If you just, in your mind, think, well, that's done, you won't necessarily immediately find the next project to do. But it's there. It's in front of you. It's a material record that increases your productivity. And as I just mentioned, it shows progress. As you're going through the list, you are realizing as the day goes forward how far you've got, how much you've done. So it gives you a sense of time management. It lets you know where you are in the day and what you've done and what needs to be done. So you can start to adjust. It may well be that the list you have at the beginning of the day, because of other events, because certain things took far longer than you expected, that you're going to have to readjust. So knowing what progress you've made means that you can perhaps build into your day a few things that you hadn't planned to do because you've got spare time, or on occasions take 2 things on that list and put them top of the list for the morning. There's no harm in carrying something forward. Better to have it on your list and then carry it forward a day than not have it on your list and remember next week that you didn't do it. So there we go. That's the converted preaching to the rest on the issue of lists. 55 years possibly, no lists. Last few years, lists. Yes, I've seen the difference. Yes, it has transformed my approach to each day. I'll tell you this, there's no way that in my busy schedule, with the jobs we do, with the video channels we have, with the reselling business, with my celebrant work, that I would be able to do this video. They wouldn't exist. These videos would not exist if I hadn't introduced listening into my life. Because now I make the time, create the content, publish the videos, and this channel exists purely because I brought lists into my life. What would add it to your life? What could you be doing that you're not doing? And if you're already doing lists, pat on the back. If you've always done them, then you're better than me. But if there's anyone out there and you've never been convinced of the benefit of writing lists, then I hope this video helps you. And I'll see you again soon when we come back for the next letter in our alphabet of achievement. See you then. Bye.